What are some of the radical shifts you went through in your life, from like festivals, nightclubs, everything you were into, to going through this, spiritual transformation journey?
Health, number one.
Yeah.
My body, I was overweight. I was just lethargic, just did not have energy anymore. So that was huge, just detoxifying my body. That was the biggest shift, which gave me the time to really clear my mind, and really tap into my soul from a perspective of the heart, mind, body, connecting. My heart and my mind finally started to connect to a bigger purpose in life. And then also my relationship with my wife. Yeah, although on the surface we looked like we had it all, vacations and the jobs we were working in and living this lifestyle that was just all a facade, right? Although we were having a great time, it wasn't fulfilling. There was something missing. Like I said, we're great life partners, but there's so much more for us to do as a couple now that we have a daughter as well. We want to raise her consciously and different from the way we were raised. So that was a major shift in our relationship, is how do we navigate that?
Welcome to Life Mastery Podcast. Today is going to be a little different. You're going to get to experience the method live. Today we'll be coaching a very special human being on camera. Andrew Christoforou spent nearly 2 decades in the Toronto nightlife and hospitality industry before having a radical shift in his life. He then went on as a visionary and co-founder of the Tomorrow Today community, creating deeply transformative, community building and inspiring experiences like Dream Camp. He's also a father to his baby girl Zaya and husband, and cares deeply about impacting people and the planet. If you're someone who's been on a journey for a long time and have had access to infinite coaches, plant medicines, methodologies, you're going to want to tune into this.
Hey, Andrew, thank you for being here.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, some of what you've created in the past, what you're committed to right now. Tell us a bit about Andrew.
Where do I begin? I guess my former life, I want to now say, is now clearly in the distance. I was at the forefront of Toronto's nightlife scene, and I began in 1999 throwing parties as a promoter, which eventually led to owning nightclubs, owning festivals, becoming director of marketing for a group called Unique Hospitality Group. And yeah, I just really learned a lot. Self-taught marketing, branding, event production, all the things events and hospitality. I really taught myself that. I was very passionate about bringing people together in that setting.
You're like a natural community builder.
Yeah. And it's funny because I say it now that I've shifted into this more conscious lifestyle and doing more holistic experiences and retreats, it almost becomes full circle, because it's I was bringing people together back then and I'm still bringing people together, just in a whole different light.
Totally.
So now I'm the founder of Tomorrow Today community, which leads a beautiful experience called Dream Camp, where we rent out a kids camp for 200 adults in beautiful nature of Muskoka. Beautiful 4-day experience, powerful, where we take attendees on a beautiful journey of discovery and exploration inwards and outwards and expression. And yeah, it's now entering its 5th season this summer. And currently I'm working with Life Mastery. I'm their business development director, and I'm very passionate about the work that you're leading, especially, and working with you in the last almost 6 months now, right? I've learned a lot and really opened up my eyes to a different coaching style through you. And I really believe in you and the brand that we've developed together, Life Mastery. I feel like it's going to be super transformative for a lot of people.
Thank you for that. It's been such a beautiful co-creation. And I think part of why you're here today is it takes a lot of courage to be here. We're going to dive into some pretty deep areas of your life, and knowing that you could be a stand for other people and that your stories could impact other people. You were like a fast yes.
Yeah.
You were like the one thing that I've discovered is how unwavering you are for the betterment of other people. Yeah, so it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. And tell me about your transformation. So you went from like nightclubs and festivals and that whole lifestyle to dream camp and tomorrow today. And what was your shift? And you've been on, how long have you been on the journey for?
My journey began in late 2015.
Yeah.
I had hit my rock bottom when it came to my addictions. The nightlife scene caught up to me real fast too. Where the drinking and the drugs really caught up to my physical well-being, and my soul was screaming like, you gotta stop or you're gonna die. Something has to change. And so I went on a 60-day sobriety, no alcohol.
Wow.
I did hypnotherapy. And I did a cleanse called Clean Gut, which I do once a year now as well. I kept it going. So the whole shift in lifestyle, like from a health perspective, was key to really just cleaning out the toxins that were in my body and getting clear. But the biggest shift for me, it started with my wife, Stacy. She's been a big part of my spiritual awakening, and she had her awakening about a year earlier from mine. And she was bringing meditation and yoga into our home. And at that point, I was still on my sobriety. Like, I was trying to get clean. I was still in my traumas from it. And so that was the introduction, even though I wasn't really fully in it. But we took our honeymoon. We went to Thailand, and I did a plant medicine called DMT, and not knowing what it was. And it was just the complete identity. My identity shattered completely, because I was so controlling at that point. I needed to know everything. And when I came out of that journey, it was like, life's not that serious. Like, I was taking it so seriously, and that there was so much more within me and the world. And my wife said it, Stacy said it, she goes, from that moment on, something shifted and switched. Now, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, because the next 2 years was the dark night of the soul that I had to go through. I literally needed to hit rock bottom. My identity was shattered, like the layers that kept peeling away over those first 2 years. And I didn't have community at that point. We still hadn't started Tomorrow Today in Jamaica, where we had coaches surrounding us and people that understood what I was going through. So it was rough. It was very rough. But then I started doing the work. I met my coach, Peter Opperman, who's now the guide father to Zaya, and a dear brother. He has the Future Self program that I did 8 times. Wow. And that was my deprogramming myself and installing new software to lead a new life. So I've been on the path for about 9 years now, almost 10. But I know there's so much more to go. That's why we're here, right?
Totally. But what are some of the radical shifts you went through in your life, from like festivals, nightclubs, everything you were into, to going through this, spiritual transformation, plant medicine journey? What were some of like your major life shifts and changes?
Health, number one.
Yeah.
My body. I was overweight. I was like just lethargic, like just did not have an energy anymore. So that was huge, like just detoxifying my body. Although it did take a few more years to get rid of the alcohol, but I'm now 5 years plus sober on alcohol. So that was the biggest shift, which gave me the time to really clear my mind, and really tap into my soul from a perspective of the heart, mind, body, like connecting. My heart and my mind finally started to connect to a bigger purpose in life. And I think what came from, and I feel like I've always been spiritual, even from a young age. Like, I feel I've always had this connection. All the partying disconnected me from my true self. So that was a big shift. And then also my relationship with my wife. Although on the surface we looked like we had it all, vacations and the jobs we were working in and living this lifestyle that was just all a facade, right? Like, although we were having a great time, it wasn't fulfilling. There was something missing. So our relationship, like I said, we're great life partners, but there's so much more for us to do as a couple. Now that we have a daughter as well, we want to raise her consciously and different from the way we were raised. So that was a major shift in our relationship, is how do we navigate that? So we went through a lot, and we still are.
Yeah, totally. I love how you're capturing that, because you've been on the journey for a while now, right? Almost a decade. And there's an idea that the longer you've done the work, the more you know, the light switch gets turned on or off, and it can feel like those who've never done the work, like this rabbit hole of like, where do I begin? How do I? When truly, like, the entry point's actually always the same. There's something we're suffering with, and we see that a lot here with Life Mastery. There's some people who've been on a journey for decades, and there's some people who've never touched the work. In fact, they think it's like hocus pocus, right? So there's a full spectrum right across the board. But what remains the same is there's always a pain point. And so you're such a beautiful example of like being on the journey, the coaches, the plant medicine, all the things, and being willing to see the pain point and want to go to work on that. Because does the work ever end?
The work never ends.
Work never
And
ends.
I think I made a clear distinction the other day. I was talking about it with Stacy, and she's like, you're doing we were doing all this work, and you know what I mean, and nothing's changing. And it's like, well, we're in the work, but are we actually doing the work? There's a huge distinction there. There's a big difference. Sure, we're surrounded by coaches, and we eat and live conscious lifestyle, but are we actually doing the work? And in our relationship, we're not. We're not. And that's the truth. And that's why our relationship has its wobbles, as you say, and its ups and downs. And I feel like we've actually, like, where we want to go in life, I think the one remaining place for us to do the work is our relationship, for us to be where we want to get to, like, and to achieve what we dream of. And our relationship is the one thing that could get us there, fixing it.
I love how you captured that, because there's a lot of people we meet that know a lot of insights, that have done a lot of programs, that have a lot of coaching, a lot of certificates, and there's a difference with knowing the work and embodying the work. And as we know, knowing the work makes no difference. Right? So let's talk about your relationship. Today we're going to dive deep into something that like matters to you most. I know is like so dear to your heart, which is who?
Stacy. And my daughter Zaya.
And your daughter Zaya. So Andrew is a proud father to a beautiful baby girl named Zaya, and has a beautiful wife named Stacy. Yeah. Okay. So let's go all in. Yeah. Okay. Give me your pain points. What are you guys dealing with? And what are you guys dealing with?
Well, what I'm dealing with is this resistance to loving my wife fully, being there for her fully, emotionally, on a spiritual level, and just like giving her and listening to what she needs from me. I've always struggled with that. And she's been begging for the emotional support. And she's always pushing, we got to do the work. And she's like, so that's my biggest struggle is there's an armor here that's a resistance to loving her fully and deeply. I love her so much. I'll do anything for her. But like going all in and meeting her to her needs is where there's resistance.
Okay, beautiful. What's that like for Stacy? How does she feel?
She doesn't feel good at all.
She's frustrated.
She feels frustrated. She's never listened to. Constantly repeating herself is her biggest thing. Is like, I ask you for things and you're just not listening. And my mind, I'm not present. My mind wanders. Like I just zone out. Like I could be looking at her right in the face and she's telling me something. And my mind's zoned out. So
she's frustrated. She's like, she wants more. She's irritated. Then what does that do to your relationship? What is your dynamic like?
Well, I get defensive. So I think the first thing is like my defenses go up. And majority of the time I don't really say anything because I just know like it could end up in an argument.
So your defensiveness, you like shut down. You don't talk, okay?
I shut down.
Yeah.
But then I bottle it up. The problem is I'm bottling it up. And then I finally explode after a couple months. And then it's just all hell breaks loose. And it's like that big argument that's just been bottling up multiple things into one. And we get over it quite quickly. And we have been doing some work on like at least talking about it and coming to a place of understanding. But there's a lot more we can do to avoid those situations. Like that's what we need to get to, is like create this relationship of understanding and support. Yeah.
And who's watching all of this go down?
Zaya. Yeah.
So she's seeing mommy and daddy like arguing, frustrated, like going back and forth, like I'm telling you something, you're not listening, and dad's kind of like checked out, and eventually you just like swallow it until you've had enough, and then you
Well, we do avoid the larger ones in front of Zaya. We're very conscious of that. But she's very she catches on to everything. She's very intuitive, and she witnesses even the littlest of things. And it's like, and so it's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny, because Stacy will say to me, "You're not listening to me again." And then when I'm not listening, and then I'm tuned out, and Zaya's trying to get my attention. Zaya's like, "Papa, you're not listening to me." And it's like, it's like a dagger in my heart, because I'm zoned out again, and I'm not listening to my daughter. So she's picking up on this, and it's like, it's not the example I want to set for my daughter's future of how a man doesn't listen to her.
Totally.
And that's what Stacy keeps repeating to me. So it's like, so that's definitely in the awareness that I need to be working on.
So in most relationships, right? Most relationships are, I say this with all my love, but for the most part, there's some kind of an arrangement. There's something that works between two people. And a lot of the times why people struggle is because eventually that really wears on people. Rather than being like a deep, intimate connection that grows over time. Notice couples do this. If you look back on your arguments with Stacy, do you notice they're predictable?
Yes.
You guys fight about the same things over and over again?
Yeah, there's definitely some patterns there for sure.
Yeah. So you're the one here. You're the one that we get to like go to work on, right? Because who are we responsible for?
Myself.
That's right. So there's some role that you're playing that's having you disassociate. That's having you not be present. Tell me, if you were to look at like how you're showing up for your family, what are you doing for everyone? What's the role where are you, what approvals are you trying to get? Like, paint Andrew in your household to me. If you were really honest, if you were like, it'll sound like this, like, I don't want to make a mistake, I'm trying to keep everybody happy.
I'm definitely the provider at this point in the relationship, but I'm also like this, I always feel like I need to be doing something. So like, instead of being present with Zaya, I do have a problem with my phone. That's 100%. Like, my phone really distracts me these days. I have this like extreme personality, addictive. Like, it's just, I have this addictive personality where it's like, last year I deleted Instagram and all social media for 7 months, 4 months at the beginning of the year, 3 at the end. But when I'm on social media, it's just this, it sucks me in, and then it's addictive, and I'm glued to my phone. So that definitely is what Zaya will see, and she has been seeing, and my wife sees it too. What I am good at is that I'm the organizer of the house. I organize, I get all the groceries, I cook the food, and then I keep the place in order, and like I keep the family chores in order, like the tasks that need to be done to keep everything in order. That's the Leo in me.
So you're doing all the things. You're like, I'm cooking, I'm getting the groceries, I'm organizing the house, I'm doing some laundry, I'm do. I'm doing it all in the way that what it really seems like your family really needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What are you not doing? How are you not showing
spending quality time with my daughter and my wife. That's the like quality time. Like we go to the beach, fully present quality time. We go to the beach. We do all the things. So we go on the vacations, the trips, and it was a beautiful weekend we had last weekend. We went and we did a catamaran trip, and I was fully present. And I think I said it on the Monday. I was like, I completely turned off work for the first time in a long time, where the weekend I turned it off. And that felt incredible. So I was truly present to everything. But at home, I feel like there's something that's like keeps pulling me to do something else other than being present.
Yes. What are you most afraid of at home? What are you trying to avoid at home? Real talk. What are you trying to avoid?
I don't know. I just can't put my finger on it. Like, why do I avoid being present with my daughter? Why do I avoid those conversations, deeper conversations with my wife? Like, why do I look at my phone in bed versus just having a conversation with her before I go to bed? I can't. There's that resistance, and I don't know what it is. And I can't just solely blame it on addiction. There's more to it.
There is more to it. When you guys are arguing or having a disagreement, what's that like for you?
It doesn't feel good.
Doesn't feel good. So how do you deal with confrontation?
I shut down. I get defensive, and for the most part, I just like walk away from it.
Yeah. When people aren't happy with you, what does that feel like? If they're like disappointed, if they're like, you didn't do that, like you didn't figure that out, how does that feel for you?
I feel embarrassed, shame.
You feel embarrassed? You feel ashamed?
Yeah, I feel like unworthy. And I think a lot of that stems from my upbringing as well. Like it was just never I don't remember my mother saying I love you. And there's this constant like need to do.
Right. There's this constant need to do. So here you are, if we were going to be really honest with each other, that like confrontation is like to be avoided at all costs, right? Don't disappoint. So if there's a issue, if there's a conflict, you like shut down, you feel shamed, you're embarrassed, you're disappointed, you feel like unworthy. So what are you always trying to do? Remember I talked at the beginning of this conversation, I said, what role are you playing?
Yeah.
Because whenever there's a disconnection between couples, there's a role that's being played. They just haven't identified it yet. And that role is killing the connection in the relationship. So there's a role you're playing. What does it look like? And this is a co-creation, by the way. And typically we attract that in partners in each other. But you're here, so we're going to identify yours. Okay, what role are you playing? The dishes, the laundry, the breakfast, the this, the
The role is when I'm going to work during the day.
Going to work, yeah.
And then I come home and it's like, okay, we're gonna let's get to the beach, get everyone going, get meal prepped for dinner, and
you're doing it all right, Andrew.
Yeah.
You're doing it, but what does that role look like? And this is gonna look really good to culture, so people might have a hard time seeing what I'm pointing to right now.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little further, okay? So tell me about your early years with your mom. What was that like?
Loud.
So if you made a mistake, what happened?
Yelled at.
You're yelled at, you're screamed at. What did she say?
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
It was just got hit.
You got hit.
It was just punishment. It was straight punishment. And I remember every time my mom walked in, I lived in fear in my house because every time my mom walked in the room, I'd be like this, like hands up. Like, am I going to get a smack to the face? What did I do? Because there's always something wrong.
Yeah.
In my mother's eyes, like she was always looking for something. So that was the upbringing that I had that I think should be explored a lot deeper for me. It's like, I know it's there.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually fully healed it, although I forgave my mom and we had the good talk and we're on a good relationship now. But it's like, what is that needs to come out and so it can heal my relationship with Stacy.
That's right. So here's the way that it works, okay? And this is what shows up in relationships, and parenting are going to be your most intimate relationships, can be your deepest transformation if you're willing to allow it. Hey, it's Patricia. If you're enjoying this episode and you're curious how the life mastery method could work for you, click the link in the description to learn more. So if we look at little Andrew, he came into this world perfectly whole and complete. He was like this little boy that was connected to himself, that was like not afraid and impossibility, and then he made a mistake. And what happened when he made a mistake?
Got punished.
He got punished. If he made a mistake, he got punished, okay? So he was yelled at, You're stupid, you're smacked, so much so when your mom walked in the room, your hands went up like this. What was that like for you?
Scary.
Yeah. So for all young people, and this is something that culture doesn't understand, okay, whether it's in a big or small way, every time a child's needs are not met, it leaves an imprint on their nervous system. Okay, their inner child gets created. And every time an experience is beyond what they can handle, that child has to process that. You know, we come into this world wanting to be unconditionally loved, seen, heard, to feel safe, like we belong within our caregiver. Now, if our caregiver doesn't provide that, that little Andrew has to find a way of dealing with the world. So what did he do? And what did he do around his mother?
I tuned her out
You tuned her out.
completely.
So you tuned her out. What else?
I finally rebelled at 16.
Okay. You rebelled at 16. Let's go before 16. Before you tuned her out, when you were like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, did you like making mistakes around her?
No, I avoided her as much as I could.
You avoided her when she was around. Did you want to get it right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you tried
I'm
to
walking on eggshells, that's for sure.
tried to get it right. You walked on eggshells.
And I feel like as a child, like there was no like, I was so sheltered as well by her.
Yeah.
I wasn't, there was just no like, I was on a leash as well. Couldn't leave her sight. Like it's just this huge sheltering, which I think has played a role as well in how I am now.
Yeah.
Whereas this fear of letting go,
Right.
because she couldn't let me go.
Right.
I remember this one time where I just when I was younger, I think 5, and I left the front of the house. She was with a family friend, our neighbor, and I just left. And I went to the store and I bought some gum and I disappeared for like 20 minutes. She couldn't see me. And I came back and she just went crazy. Like, what the hell? How did you leave? And just like, it was just like her world shattered because I left it for 20 minutes. Like, so I don't know what's that in on her end, why she was so sheltering with us or so protective. And it's like, but that definitely had an effect on me as well.
Right. So it was like not a healthy environment, but you were in it all the time. You were always around.
Constant.
Okay. How are you at home? And in some of the dynamics when you and Stacy are fighting and disagreeing, are you someone that like takes off all the time, or are you there in body?
No,
you're there all the
I'm
time.
there, and I'll fight it to the end too.
Yeah.
Like once things get going, like then I'm just going. I'm fighting. I'm screaming. I'm yelling, and I'm just like I'm in it. Like,
Right.
and I'm just like, and it's almost to the point where I even know what I'm saying is not right, but I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Or you'll be there and
Yeah.
you'll like fight it to the
'Cause I
end,
wanna
or
win,
you'll
and
stay in the fight,
Yeah.
and you're there in body,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we often recreate the feeling we felt in our early years in our adult relationships. Even if they don't serve us, they're familiar, they're comfortable, right? So where in your household today are you there in body all the time? In this constant tug of war, fight, disagreement, argument? Is there a fear of making a mistake? And that fear could be yours, but where you're like trying to get it right, where you're playing the role, where you're doing
The biggest
things.
fear is being wrong.
Right.
That's where I'm always like, I don't want to be wrong. Even though I know I'm wrong, I'm still going to fight it to like try and prove that I'm right. And for the most part, I'm pretty much wrong every time when it comes to Stacy. Because when it finally calms down and we go through the motions, it's like, okay, I was wrong.
Right.
But there's something in me that I have to like, it's like I'm fighting my mother, honestly.
Yeah. So when we talk about the inner child, you know, the young Andrew that was afraid to make a mistake, that tuned his mother out, that just felt fear, that felt scared, that felt, how do you think, if you were to think about how that little boy felt, how did he feel?
I felt just scared all the time. And I honestly don't even know where I got my drive and my passion from. Where I think, obviously, I finally broke free when I was 18 years old, and I moved back from Cyprus on my own, and I started living on my own. So I had to had to find myself
Yeah.
as a human, like just an individual because I was so sheltered by my mother until I was 18. I finally somewhat broke free at 16 because we moved back to Cyprus.
Yeah.
Um,
But you felt fear.
I felt genuine fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then little Andrew had to develop a way of dealing with the world. Who did he need to become? He needed to become the right one, right? You like to be right? Yeah. What else?
The leader.
The
I had to
leader.
lead everything.
What else?
Didn't want to listen to anyone's opinions.
Don't want to listen to anyone. Okay.
No matter how wrong I was and big a mistake I was going to make, I was still going to do it.
Okay. What else? Do you like making mistakes now? No.
No.
So you like to be the good one, yeah?
I do make mistakes. And
I
then
know.
again, I'm making mistakes and I'm like trying to find a way to not make a mistake or not make it a mistake. Like in my
You're
mind,
going to
like,
justify
I'm gonna
why
justify
it was right.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're like the right one, the righteous one.
Yeah.
You know, you say leader. Do you think that leadership had a bit of control?
100%.
Yeah, so control.
Yeah.
Okay.
The control was just, that's what I've really been working on in the last few years for sure.
So the right one, the controlling one, the good one, the one that doesn't like to make a mistake. What else?
I always tried to envision the outcome. No, like now what I know is that you can't really fully envision an outcome, like especially in the world that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I have this vision and I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. And this is the way it's gonna happen. And it was like this authority, like this is the way we're gonna get there too. And then things would break down along the way. And I would like cover up the mistakes because I had no one to answer to. So it's like I have no one to answer to, so I can make these mistakes and just do it anyways. So I think those are big.
So making mistakes is like a big one for you, and you like to get it right.
I do like to get it.
Yeah. And you like people to be happy with you.
And the biggest thing for me is like I don't seek quality people to be around me to ask questions and learn from others. Like I'm the learning side of things for me to learn new things, or to, if I need help in something where I know I don't know it and I'm gonna make a mistake in it, there's a resistance to asking someone who is qualified to get us through that.
Well, you can't ask because you're the right one, right? You're the one who knows.
Exactly.
So even when like there's something you're not sure, there could be a bigger impact, you don't want to ask. Do you seek approval and validation from other people? Real talk. Do you like hearing, oh, that's really good, Andrew, like you did a really good
I
job?
like to hear it,
Yeah.
but I always feel embarrassed.
Okay, so you
hear
can't
it.
be with the
I can't be
acknowledgement.
I can't be with the acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Especially if someone like overly praises me, I'm just
Yeah.
like, ooh, I cringe.
Yeah. So but you don't like to hear you're not doing you're doing a horrible job,
No.
right? And with Stacy,
Oh, I hate hearing that.
right?
Like,
Yeah, that would be a deep trigger for you.
deep trigger.
With Stacy, it's like you like it when you're getting it right. You like it when she's like, "Yes, Andrew, thank you, Andrew. This was great, Andrew."
It does feel amazing when she's like, oh, Andrew, you did something really nice. And
Yeah.
that feels really good.
Yeah.
But then when I'm wrong and she's like, she points it out, like, this is how you made me feel, it just sucks the life out of me.
So if you look at this like false identity that you're leading with, right? This false self is meant to keep us safe. Because there's like a deep wound within you that hasn't been healed, you're carrying around this mask. And this mask looks like, I'm the good one, I'm the right one, I'm the controlling one, I'm the one who doesn't make a mistake, I got it all figured out,
I'm the best.
I'm the best, everybody. But really, if you even say, yeah, Andrew, you are, you can't even be with that, right? So this is like the energy field that you carry with you. This is like the mask that you wear. And because it was born from a lack, because it came from like a lack within yourself, what do you think it feels like being in that energy? How does it feel for you?
It doesn't feel good because I know there's so much, like I personally, I feel like I've done a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of good things and a lot of impactful things. And I've created things that have been successful, but I know it could be so much more.
Yeah.
So much more. Like way bigger, way more extraordinary. But I'm holding myself back. This wound or whatever it is, this pattern is definitely holding me back.
Now, what do you think it's like for Stacy? to have you show up. You know, these roles are exhausting, right? Like it feels like, do you ever feel like tired? Like,
Yeah.
right? Like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So for her,
Or when's it going to end? Like,
when's
why
it
does,
gonna
and when's it,
end?
when are we finally going to break through this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So for her, she's got this like version of you. She's got this wall that she keeps bumping up against of this like controlling one, the right one, the good one, the guy that's trying to do everything. He's there. He's like, I got the dishwasher. I got the laundry. I got the kitchen. Doesn't want to make a mistake. In fact, if he does, he's going to cover up his mistakes. Who's that all about?
it's all about me.
It's all about you. Now, if it's all about you, can you really connect to Stacy?
No.
No. Is she feeling connection from you at all?
No.
No. Now, when she's constantly bumping up against that disconnected, playing this role kind of guy, what does it trigger within Stacy?
Hurt.
Her, right? And this is where it's going to trigger Stacy's inner child. And she's going to come from a place of being frustrated and angry and fed up and tired. And what does that look like when you guys are in this dance that you've been in? How long have you been together?
17 years.
Okay, how long has this been going on?
17 years.
What does
Yeah.
that dance feel like?
It doesn't feel good.
No.
It just feels like we're going in a circle.
Who's watching that dance?
Zaya.
Yeah. What's Zaya not getting while you guys are in this inner child dance with each other?
She's not getting the presence that she deserves.
And then what's Zaya going to build up within herself in order to deal with the world?
Resistance.
Resistance, and what comes after the inner child?
Trauma.
Yeah, her full self. She's going to be like, oh, this chaos is like, this is what happens. Dad does this and mom does that, and I'm here just watching it. Does that feel safe for her?
No.
Does that feel like she could be at peace in that environment?
No.
No. What's she gonna seek in her future that's familiar to her now?
I think there's a pattern already forming where I think Stacy said it yesterday. She's like, she's not listening to me.
Yeah.
I think she said it to us in the car today. As Zaya's starting to tune her out. And I think that's coming from me.
You're both passing patterns on to her that you have not healed, only because they've been out of your view. And you're suffering with those patterns. What's your life experience like in this jail cell of trying to get it right, of trying to be good, of trying not to make a mistake, of trying to
I feel trapped.
You feel trapped. What do you think it's like for Stacy to be like trying to get your attention and getting frustrated and getting angry and
She feels trapped.
She feels trapped. Is there any space for intimacy or connection?
No.
No. Is there any space for this relationship to deepen, to grow, to thrive, to create a life? If I were to ask you, Andrew, what's most important to you in your life right now, what would that be?
Building a home for the family.
Okay, I'm not talking material things.
Oh.
See where you went?
Yeah.
See where you went?
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go build a home.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to go get the
I caught
groceries.
myself there.
Yeah. To build the house, to
Yeah.
you do all the things.
Yeah.
That looks honorable. But it serves a purpose for you. There's a payoff for you in that doing. What is it?
I don't know. What is the payoff?
You get to check out, no?
Oh yeah, true.
You get to disassociate. I'm busy. I'm finding the house. I'm washing a car. I'm buying the groceries. I'm driving you to the beach.
I didn't put two and two together there. Disassociate.
There's a payoff for you. Notice how you need to be busy all the time. Notice how your schedule's empty. You'll want to fill it up.
Yeah.
Notice that you can't be still.
Yeah. It's true. I can't be still.
You can't be still. So life in this construct, the pain of your inner child and the mask of your false self can never have you in a place of stillness, of being at peace. You will always be in an unrest state. And most people live that way their entire lives. They think it's normal. They think that's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
And they miss a whole other level of living.
That's completely true for me, because I always feel like I'm like always doing something. It's like, what are we doing next? And I feel like there's this race, like I'm racing towards something, and I'm trying to slow myself down, and then I just keep finding myself do this, and I'm just like, there's nothing to do. Just relax. You're at home, be with your family, and it's like my mind just can't stop.
You can't be with yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can't be with yourself, who can you not be with?
Family.
You can't be with your family.
Yeah.
And where in your early years did you learn to tune out, to check out with who?
My mom.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel safe.
Right. So what are you going to do about it? Right. Like this is the, people try to plan all these things for their kids, right? You're planning a birthday party. Tomorrow, all the this, all the that, all the vacations, all the stuff. Yet we don't realize, without like deeply examining ourselves, that we pass on all of our trauma and kill any kind of possibility in our relationships. The very thing that, if I were to ask you, actually I did ask you, I said, what matters to you the most? What did you say?
Build a home.
Well, before that, we caught that pattern. Okay. Before build a home.
Before that,
who
I
matters
should.
to you the most?
Stacey and Zion, the relationship.
So the human beings that matter to you the most are getting the worst of you.
That doesn't feel good.
And it's out of your view, because I know how deeply you love them. And being on this path, and please know like how much courage it takes for you to just look at that. How much courage it takes for you to like stare it in the face and like sit with it. Most people won't even do that. And it doesn't matter how many ceremonies and plant medicine journeys and shamans and coaches. The suffering's always right there in the present moment. And then we are like, it's like, there's this why. Why can't I connect? Why don't I want to go all in?
Yeah.
And there's this like deeply rooted, unprocessed trauma and pattern that you never even chose.
Yeah.
That you'll then pass on to
Zion.
your daughter.
Yeah.
And you guys have been on a journey, are involved human beings. This is the typical way people parent nowadays. We're really busy at the soccer matches and birthday parties and school PTA meetings. We're not looking at, are we regulated and present and alive? Do we have trauma that needs to be healed?
Yeah.
And then we pass it on to our children, limiting what becomes possible in their relationship and their life.
I feel that.
Yeah. So after this little chat, we're going to create a structure, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I have some work to do.
I do.
Yeah. And I know how committed you are to that. Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're ready. And I know how committed Stacey is. You guys are amazing.
She's been ready for years.
And are you ready to like finally give it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. To like finally see what's like holding your family back from giving them what you actually really want. Yeah. And you deserve it. I think that's the part that's going to feel really foreign to you. Because when you said I can't take a compliment, it's because there's a part of you that feels like you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
When you keep creating chaos in ways you're not asking for help or sabotaging certain parts of your life, there's a part of you that feels that's what you should have.
Yeah.
There's a part of you that wants to struggle, that needs the struggle because it feels familiar. And none of it's yours. None of it's Zaya's. None of it's Stacy's.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold you really big.
Please do.
Yeah, I know I don't have to twist your arm, Stacy's arm. But I really want to thank you for being willing. You know, this came up in a casual conversation, like, Andrew, I want to jump on. And we've had smaller discussions, but we haven't gone this all in yet.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I'm here for it. Like, there's every part of you that's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
And so when it's no longer out of your view, guess what comes next? The responsibility to transform.
Yeah.
I always say between like what you want and what you have, there's a pattern, always. It's up to you how all in you're gonna go on your journey. And it's up to you what clearing you create for Zaya. And it's up to you what relationship you can create with Stacy. She's waiting for it.
Yeah.
And you all deserve it.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for like coming from your heart, knowing that, you know, before the cameras were rolling, you were like, I know this could matter to other people. That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
I know this could make a difference for other people. I said, is there anything you don't want to, any area you don't want to go? Because we're going to go all in. Sure. Like, nope. I know this can make a difference for people.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Life Mastery Stories. If you are curious about how this life mastery methodology could work for you, click the link in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share with anyone who you think might benefit from hearing it. See you next time.